This is why Star Trek will forever be my perfect comfort show. Star Trek will always be my perfect comfort TV show. Defined as TV that one turns to in hard times for comfort or simply for joy, a comfort show means different things to different people. For me, a comfort show is about how watching an episode feels like coming home. When I watch one of the Star Trek TV shows, stress and anxiety dissipate for a while. Falling into the sci-fi fantasy of Gene Roddenberry's vision of utopia is my perfect way to relax, and Star Trek always has plenty to offer. With 11 shows plus a series of short episodes to choose from, the Star Trek timeline has no shortage of material. Fans of any genre, sci-fi, action, romance, drama, fantasy, can find something in the Star Trek universe to interest them. You can trace the Star Trek universe from the 1960s to 2024 in real-life order, or start with a prequel show like Star Trek Enterprise and watch the universe unfold in canonically chronological order. Whether I watch Star Trek Voyager or board a version of the Starship Enterprise, I always find myself coming back to Star Trek for comfort. Star Trek's tight-knit crews are why it'll always be my comfort show over the decades. Star Trek has perfected, and perhaps even helped pioneer, the ensemble cast. Ever since Star Trek, the original series' cast and characters boarded the very first Starship Enterprise, Star Trek has been known to have large, diverse casts whose complex relationships add to each show's appeal. Every time I turn on Star Trek: The Next Generation, I don't feel like I have to relearn the characters and relationships because the on-screen chemistry does the job for me. The intricacies of the narratives interwoven through each episode and season make Star Trek shows feel like coming home. The individual characters in Star Trek are lovable and, perhaps more importantly, relatable. The crews of Star Trek Voyager and Star Trek Deep Space Nine may be big ones, but both shows still portray each character with struggles and victories of their own. With plenty of Star Trek characters fans see themselves in, it's no wonder the crew seems so familiar and comforting. Even if it's been years since I watched, coming back to a crew I feel like I know and love makes every Star Trek show easy to watch, rewatch, and come back to time and time again. Star Trek's crews have a sitcom-like appeal, but with aliens, danger, and moral dilemmas, comfort shows are often sitcoms, comedies, or other shows that act as a surface-level break from reality. These kinds of shows offer 20 or so minutes of lighthearted entertainment, and that's perfect for a comfort show. However, Star Trek does all of that, but also gives me more, for the same reasons that Star Trek, the original series, still works all these years later. Complex characters like those in the ongoing series Star Trek: Strange New Worlds go through challenging moral dilemmas, aliens threaten the understanding of life as they know it, and danger adds an exciting and emotional edge. Returning to any Star Trek series feels like coming home, but it also offers something more than many other comfort shows: a challenging look at our past, present, and future. Star Trek offers comedy, but it counterbalances it with drama. Where there's a hero, there's most definitely a major Star Trek villain waiting around the corner to challenge and redefine an aspect of the crew's existence. I always return to Star Trek shows because they give me diverse watching experiences, and they're relaxing without becoming background noise. Simply put, Star Trek is the best of both worlds. In a world filled with chaos, uncertainty, and the relentless march of time, we all seek an escape. For some, it's a book. For others, it's a quiet hobby. But for me, it's always been Star Trek. The original series and all its spin-offs continue to be the one thing I can return to time and time again to find solace. There's something timeless about the adventures of the USS Enterprise, something that provides not only comfort but a sense of hope for the future. One of the main reasons Star Trek is my perfect comfort show is the optimism it offers about humanity. At its core, the series isn't just about space travel or encounters with alien civilizations, it's about human potential. In the Star Trek universe, humans have evolved beyond the pettiness, prejudices, and greed that often plague us today. They've overcome war, poverty, and disease to unite as a species and strive for something greater: the exploration of the unknown. This vision of a utopian future where humanity cooperates with other races and focuses on knowledge, peace, and progress is like a balm for the weary soul. In Star Trek, the future isn't something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. Take Captain Kirk, for example. His leadership style is bold and courageous, but he's also compassionate and deeply committed to his crew. While other captains may be more rigid or tactical, Kirk embodies the balance between adventure and morality, taking risks to uphold what is right. His character shows that even in the face of danger or unknown challenges, it is possible to lead with empathy and conviction. That's something I find incredibly reassuring, especially in a world where leadership can often feel cold or disconnected from those it's meant to serve. Then there's Spock, who symbolizes the balance between logic and emotion. As a half-Vulcan, half-human, Spock constantly navigates the tension between his logical Vulcan upbringing and his human emotions. Watching Spock wrestle with his identity and embrace the idea that it's okay to feel, even when it contradicts logic, feels deeply relatable. In moments of emotional overwhelm, I find myself thinking of Spock's quiet calm, his ability to analyze situations and maintain a sense of clarity, even in the face of chaos. And yet, Spock is never portrayed as emotionally distant. His bond with Kirk and the rest of the crew proves that even the most logical among us still crave connection and friendship. Beyond the characters, Star Trek is also a masterclass in storytelling. Every episode feels like a self-contained parable, offering lessons about morality, humanity, and the power of curiosity. Whether it's an episode where the crew faces an ethical dilemma, encounters a new form of life, or grapples with time travel, each story reminds me that there's always more to learn. There's comfort in the formula, too. The problem of the week structure means that no matter how dire the situation may seem at the start of an episode, by the end, things will be resolved. The crew will continue their journey, and the mission will go on. It's a reassuring reminder that even when things go wrong, they can be put right again. Another reason Star Trek endures as my comfort show is its celebration of diversity and inclusion. When it premiered in 1966, it broke ground by casting a black woman, Nichelle Nichols, as Uhura, an Asian American man, George Takei, as Sulu, and a Russian character, Chekhov, as part of the main crew during the height of the Cold War. In Star Trek, diversity is not just tolerated, it's celebrated as a strength. The crew's differences in background, culture, and even species make them stronger, more adaptable, and better able to solve the complex problems they encounter. This message that our differences are what make us stronger is something that resonates deeply with me and brings a sense of peace in a world that often struggles with division. Moreover, the aesthetics of Star Trek, its clean starship designs, the comforting hum of the warp engines, the soothing blue glow of the transporter beams, all add to its charm. Even the slightly outdated special effects of the original series, with its practical sets and model starships, have a nostalgic warmth to them. The show's optimistic visual design, from the bright uniforms to the sleek bridge of the Enterprise, contrasts beautifully with the often dark and gritty landscapes of modern science fiction. When I sit down to watch an episode, I know that I'm entering a world that's bright, bold, and full of hope. Finally, Star Trek speaks to the dreamer in me. At its heart, it's a show about exploration, not just of space, but of ourselves. The characters are constantly pushing boundaries, seeking new knowledge, and discovering truths about themselves and the universe. This spirit of curiosity and exploration is something I've carried with me from childhood into adulthood. Star Trek reminds me that, no matter how difficult or confusing life can get, there's always something new to discover, some new horizon to reach for. In the end, Star Trek isn't just a show about space or technology, it's about hope, connection, and the endless potential of